All right, guys. So, this is a story about a father who was supervising a sleepover with his daughter, and was it three of her friends, something like that? And he decided to put sleeping pills in some sort of sleeping agent in a smoothie that he served to all of the girls to make them pass out and possibly do something to them. And yeah, so let's find out what happened with this case.
The dad from Oregon, accused of spiking smoothies for his daughter's friends at a sleepover, admits to the crime. And now
He admits to the crime. Because I remember when I first heard about the story, he was kind of denying it, say he wouldn't do that, but they found the chemical in the girl's system, so it's not looking good for him.
now he's learned his punishment. I have the details from Michael Meden's sentencing. Thanks for joining me for Crime Fix. I'm Anjanette Levy. Michael Meden is going to prison for spiking mango smoothies that he gave to his daughter's friends, but his sentence isn't long enough for the girls he's now admitting to victimizing. Meden
It's
wasn't
not long enough. I mean, he was caught spiking drinks. Like, how long do you think that's going to be? He didn't even get a chance to do any diddling. So, like, they can't put him in jail for that long. You could only imprison people for the crimes they actually commit. So, if you want them to do more time, you're going to have to produce some victims. And I don't think you want that for them children.
architect living in a $1 million house in Lake Oswego last summer when he hosted a sleepover for his daughter and her friends. The girls were 12 years old last August when they were invited to Meden's home for the sleepover with his daughter. The girls described Mr. Meden to be very involved with their activities during the sleepover. Mr. Meden had taken them to get their nails done, pick up a pizza for dinner, and directed their activities. The girls
Get their nails done? 12 years old? Like, who the hell getting 12-year-olds nails done? Like, people need to start treating kids like kids. But I guess this weirdo, besides him, like, you can't be having 12-year-old, like, let kids be freed. It's like, they don't have to be worrying about all this freaking getting their nails done, spa treatments, goddamn makeup, all that nonsense. Let them be kids. There's no reason for them to be trying to be attractive in that way to anybody. This is weird.
explained that Mr. Meden was constantly checking in on them and interjecting himself into their conversations. The girls stated they played in the sprinklers, went into the hot tub, took showers, and got ready for bed at Mr. Meden's direction.
He directed them to get wet in the sprinklers, get in the hot tub in what, their bikinis? This, oh my God. To take a shower and get ready for bed. Did he watch them shower? What?
The girls stated they spent the majority of their time in the basement where they were doing a quote spa night, watching movies while they did facials. Now, this
Oh
is
my
all
God,
according to
why?
an affidavit for a search warrant for Meden's home.
Why?
The girls told detectives that sometime between 9 p.m. and 11 p.m. last August 25th, Meden made them the mango smoothies in milkshake-style glasses before they were told to go to bed. The smoothie's consistency was described as having a thinner liquid with bubbles in it. Mr.
Yeah,
Meden
just mango
specifically gave
it's
each of the
normal.
girls specific colored reusable straws to distinguish their own drink. Mr. Meden was adamant that the girls drink out of their own cups.
Okay, so you
The
had a
girls
type.
told detectives that Meden insisted they go to bed around midnight, and two of the girls went to sleep on a pull-out couch in the basement. The girls' names are redacted or blacked out in the search warrant affidavit,
Still
but it
children.
says one girl stated she and another girl were cuddling on the pull-out couch. She explained she and the other girl were laying the same direction and her arm was over her body. She stated at some point that Mr. Meden came downstairs and pretended to be asleep. She stated he removed her arm from the other girl's body by moving the girl's body further toward the opposite side of the bed. This concerned the girl so much, so she rolled over her friend.
Why would they cuddling like that? Like, is that normal behavior? Little girls to be like straight up just spooning each other? All right.
And placed her arm on her friend and remained awake in fear that Mr. Meden was going to do something to her friend. The girl stated Mr. Meden went upstairs. She stated that she remained awake, and sometime after, Meden returned downstairs.
Did she not drink her drink?
To check on them again. Now, I told you when we covered this in the past that Meden then returned to the basement, and the girl who was awake said that she pretended to be asleep. The girl said she saw Mr. Meden in the dim light place his finger underneath her nose as if to see if she was soundly asleep. He then waved his hand in front of her face. She stated that she pretended to be asleep, and shortly after, he walked toward the sliding glass door and went outside into the backyard. The girl who was awake is the hero in this story because she trusted her gut and called for help.
Trusted your gut? Dude was whacked and weird. What do you think? She have some sixth sense? Like, the thing was he was visibly weird. That wasn't trusting your gut. That's like trusting evidence.
Yeah, Mom, please pick me up and say I had a family emergency. I don't feel safe. I might not respond, but please come get me.
Please come get me. Crying emoji. She really in the middle of an emergency text message. She freaking go through the emojis and add crying emojis. I would think she'd be joking at that point. Kids, man.
Please. The girl's mother didn't respond, so the girl texted a family friend who came to get her. The girl's parents went to Meden's home to get the two other girls around 3 a.m. The search warrant affidavit quoted Meden as telling the girl's mother, "I don't understand," when she knocked on the door, and that he told her to come back in the morning because the girls were sleeping.
Yeah, he's like, you got to come back in the morning. I already dosed them up. You're gonna see the evidence of my crime.
She was taking the girls with her, and she awoke them in the basement and took them with her. The girls were taken to a children's hospital where they tested positive for benzodiazepines. Those are a group of depressant drugs.
Depressants that produce sedative and hypnosis, relieve anxiety and muscle spasms, and reduce seizures. Oh my God. Okay.
Used to treat anxiety, depression, and seizures. Since Meden was charged, court records showed his wife filed for divorce, and he was living in a camper in Vancouver, Washington.
Are those pills that he normally buy for himself? Is he going through some stuff and he just has those pills? He
also tried to take his own life. But now in a hearing this week, Meden pleaded guilty to felony charges of causing another person to ingest a controlled substance. Meden was sentenced to 24 months in prison and 3 years probation after his release. The victims in the case...
Like, this man lived in $1 million house. I think he was an architect or something. Like, you think he'd be winning at life, but he's out here creeping on 12-year-olds. Lost his wife. Probably, I don't know if he lost his job. I mean, he probably does good work if he can afford a $1 million house. So he probably still got his job. Got his own company, maybe. And, bro, like, what are you doing with your life? Like, I guess it's hard to judge, man, because, like, if you were a person with urges like that, like, how do you even live life? Like, that's crazy. That is crazy.
Are furious. They don't think it's enough time. One of the girls said, "I trusted him because he was my best friend's dad. He abused that trust."
You didn't trust him? You didn't trust him. You're just like, it's your best friend's dad. You had no idea about what possibly he could have done to you. What are you talking about? You did not trust this man because the moment, if he had started to do something visibly weird right off the bat, you wouldn't be like, oh yeah, he's fine, I trust him. Like, no, you didn't know the guy, and as soon as he started acting weird, you thought he was weird, and you called somebody. You didn't trust him. to begin
The
with.
girl was quoted as telling Meden and the judge,
Like, the only person that would have trusted him and would have probably not called anybody would have been his own daughter. Like, she would be the only one that could say, like, I trusted him.
I'm disgusted by the look of your face and your actions and all that you have done.
All right.
You are horrible.
I mean, his face wasn't, you know, it wasn't non-predatory before. He has an unfortunate face. Just, you know, nothing changed there.
And I will always hate you for what you have done. A third girl
What he
told
tried
Meden,
to do.
my life has become a living hell because of you and your actions.
Her life has become a living hell? How? The man literally didn't even get to do whatever crime he possibly was about to do. Like, you get all this facials and movies and spa, whatever the hell. Like, you got all that stuff. Like, it was kind of weird that he was having you all shower and go in the hot tub, but that was kind of weird. But at no point did he cross the line in those moments. The point that he crossed it was when he's like, try to put you to sleep. How's your life ruined from that? I get they're kids, but there's no way. That doesn't make any sense. Your life isn't ruined. Your life didn't even change.
A monster. A report in the Lake Oswego Review quoted
person that
Meden
lost
as
her
denying
father,
he had
her
any
life has
nefarious
changed.
intentions or that he planned to do something sexual to the girls. As parents, we all fail, but I failed in the most spectacular way possible. It was my fault, and it was also bad judgment. Meden is also quoted as saying, I wanted it to be a big kickoff event that everyone would brag about. People want to assume the worst. I never thought of that. The website reported Meden said, I want to make it up to you. I know sorry doesn't cover this at all. I don't know what to do. The Clackamas County District Attorney's Office declined my request for an interview, but I was given a statement from DA John Wentworth that says Mr. Meden's actions are inexcusable and reckless and require a punishment commensurate with the crime. The impact this event has had on the child victims, their families, and our community.
Yeah, but like, how much time can someone really do for, like, you know what I mean? Like, drugging. It's probably a lot of time. Like, drugging a child is probably a lot of time.
This is another law and crime.
All right. Yeah, it's a crazy story, man. There's some weirdos out in the world. So until next time.